Now, for Drake, academics, and all of the losers around them who have been trying to push the narrative that Kendrick Lamar's hype is all faked and his tour is gonna flop, well, for that clown show, it's all over, and no longer is the most desperate collection of people ever going to be able to get away with such major lies, because when it comes to Kendrick Lamar's upcoming Grand National Tour, well, for all 23 shows that Kendrick Lamar has on this opening leg of the tour, Kendrick is filling up every single building, and with this, from Drake's own city to his home, Kendrick is about to command live rapping and a hip-hop experience on a scale like no other artist has ever been able to, and now because of this, with Kendrick breaking even more records, Drake is really losing it. And now before we go any further into this and what all this means, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. And so now with that said, when it comes to the Grand National Tour and Drake and academics' lies never looking more laughable for even thinking of them, well, now as rap's first stadium tour since Jay-Z or Eminem is about to happen, we have gotten official news of the status of how these shows are doing, and specifically, how many tickets Kendrick has been moving and filling up for what's about to come. And with what we have seen, I mean, if you were one of the people who thought that Kendrick was gonna flop with this tour, or you thought he couldn't do these types of venues, you must be feeling embarrassed right now, because with the 23 shows that Kendrick is doing on this first run, the tour's entire allotment of tickets has been 90% sold out, which in the music industry, anytime a tour is more than 90% filled at this point, they know that for the venues, the remaining tickets will end up filling out with people who decide to come near the last minute. And just breaking down how successful these shows are going to be even more, Kendrick is going to be having 49,000 people who will be attending each show on average, and once again, while Drake and all the low-ranking OVO affiliates will continue to try and act like this is a flop or somehow spin whatever narrative they can to try and discredit the current king of rap, because as their own guy has given them nothing to root for, that's all they know how to do. Let's just remember that when it even comes to having this conversation that Kendrick is in right now, Drake or any other rapper ever for that matter cannot even get a seat at the table he's sitting at, unless of course we are talking about Jay or Eminem, who did co-headlining tours with people like Beyonce and Justin Timberlake in Jay's case, and Rihanna with Eminem. And again, just to put into perspective how up Kendrick really is, even in the biggest places that Drake performed at during any of his most recent tours, which once again, when they try to say that this tour is only successful because of SZA, because that's one of the only desperate ways they can even spin this whole thing left. Remember that Drake was co-headlining with everyone from Prime Future to the Migos to J. Cole to Lil Wayne to 21 Savage. Even with all this support, they were not even half of the size of the places that Kendrick Lamar is about to be performing in. And so with this, I mean, for all the ridiculous narratives and comments that all of OVO has been trying to get off about Kendrick and this entire tour, you can't keep it going. It's gotta stop, because you can no longer say that all the success Kendrick is getting is faked when during some of the shows he is moving up to 50 and 60,000 tickets in a single night. And again, as Kendrick is just playing within a building that Drake has never been able to even get in, and if he tried to at this point, he would just be embarrassed. Altogether, if you even try and discredit this milestone, you are clearly showing that you are doing and saying anything to try and defend Drake, because if you really are trying to spin somebody selling out an entire stadium tour in a genre where only 2 other artists have done something close to this, and even in the greater sense in an industry right now where only a handful of artists are doing this as well, which when you break down the list of artists who have stadium tours currently, Kendrick is in a select group with a handful of artists industry-wide. And again, if you were trying to discredit somebody who is at this level, you just can't be taken seriously, especially when if we make Drake follow through with his words and remember that no matter how much he tries to hide this, he did cancel the remaining dates of his Anita Max tour, which tells us that Drake was struggling to fill up stadiums that are more than half the size smaller of most of the venues that Kendrick is going to. So again, when it comes to proving that you are a top-tier talent in music and also a top-tier performer, which Kendrick clearly has solidified that title with just how good and attention-demanding his halftime show was for those who didn't know already. Again, so clearly there are just levels to all of this, and when you see this group alongside Kendrick, which features such big names who are synonymous for being amazing performers, just don't even let Drake and OVO even try to have a say over what is the highest and most impressive level of performances that you can do, because Drake can't even fill up arenas right now with big name artists, because that's how bad things have gone for him. But more importantly than this, and with Drake's failures and the real impact we are seeing from Kendrick here, more than ever and on the highest level of what shows success and impact possible, there is so clearly a tier and group that Drake will never be able to be in because he is so bad as a performer and Kendrick is obviously so comfortably here now based on what we are seeing. And even though Drake has failed so much, I do wonder how him and his fans are going to try to spin Kendrick's success this time, even when they see how good of a turnout Kendrick has for these shows, because really, they won't be able to get these jokes off about Kendrick's numbers being fake more than they already can now. And I am sure with the way they are going to try and reach and call these things a failure, it's really going to be the most desperate and funny thing you'll ever see in a way. Because with the clear success we are seeing from all of this, the only things they're going to be able to do is try and show the sections that are not even ticketed seats because the stage blocks them and try to say that the venue is empty with those because that's going to really be their only option with how amazing what Kendrick's numbers are showing us is. And really just wait and see how much these guys are going to be spiraling when Kendrick takes the road and delivers a set list and show, which just like SZA has said herself, which again should just add even more excitement and hype to all of it, is going to be like the Super Bowl times 10. And from the hype that has never been higher to the fact that this is where Kendrick has now brought us, the more we can look into what Kendrick's tour numbers are looking like and break them down and compare them to everything else not just in hip-hop but industry-wide. Again, for touring and live music, Kendrick is just breaking down so many barriers with what we are seeing, just like we saw when he brought rap at the most authentic level it could ever be at the Super Bowl. And I mean, once again, when we see that Kendrick literally did have the biggest Super Bowl halftime show ever, no matter what Drake and his fans try to say about it, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that the biggest artist in all of music, really since Like That came out, is able to do such amazing numbers. But while Drake fans try to continue and act like all of this is not the case and that Kendrick is this fake artist who is doing the worst things according to them, really when you break it down, in actuality this tour is one of the best things that has happened for hip-hop in so long. Because first off, before Kendrick came back out and started this era that we are in now, there was a thought and consensus that when it came to full-scale tours like this ever being possible for rappers to do, Drake being out so much and doing the most lazy and boring joint tours like we saw he did with his most recent ones with 21 Savage, Lil Wayne, and J. Cole even, it was so obvious that this just was never going to happen because with him at the forefront, rap within a live setting was just starting to seem more and more boring and dull in the first place, which made people start to think that after names like J and M brought it further than ever, that it was only going to go backwards from this point on. And so with this and what Kendrick Lamar being at the center of this tour exactly means, this is one of the best things we have seen in the industry in quite some time because we have never seen a series of shows exactly like this. And what I mean by that is that all of the artists have so much synergy and all come from the same place in music, whether that's from TDE with Kendrick and SZA or where they are from with Kendrick Lamar and now the opening DJ and Mustard. And what this is showcasing to the industry is how hip-hop can stay and maintain these types of runs with top names going forward, because with this trio of Kendrick, SZA, and Mustard, and again, of course, the success which is now there, we are seeing that you can put together a group of artists who naturally fit well together because even beyond having similar audiences, they have worked together and been a part of the same things for so long. And as a result of all of this, the importance of labels and collectives in hip-hop and also storytelling in the entire music industry has went up a lot in terms of creating and having a roster of artists who you are directly affiliated with and ultimately that you can come together with to make something that represents something way bigger than yourself. And with what Kendrick is now setting forward in terms of having this curated experience that will offer everything you could ever want to see from him, SZA, TDE, and the West Coast, I mean, we are already seeing somewhat of the impact of this with The Weeknd's upcoming tour, which is using the same winning strategy as it is him, Playboi Carti, and Mike Dean as the trio, which really does feel like that circle's version of what Kendrick is doing here exactly. As of course, The Weeknd, Carti, and Mike Dean have been working so closely together on all of their recent projects. And I think with this entire strategy for taking rap to stadiums being seen mainly from Kendrick as the headliner, but now also with Carti as an opener, which with that is showing how dynamic hip-hop can also be in terms of being a part of a bigger lineup and curated experience, when it comes to now other rappers in the entire industry just seeing how amazing and rewarding what Kendrick, TDE, and everybody a part of the Grand National Tour is going to be doing. Because again, touring in these stadiums is the pinnacle really of what you can do with your career. I am sure there is going to be a lot of other crews who are going to try and do this same exact thing and put the work in to get there, and realistically, I think we will see the immediate impact and influence of this tour with another superstar in hip-hop, as after already playing MetLife and SoFi stadiums during his Circus Maximus tour, Travis Scott is really next in line to do something like this, and he has the perfect second and third acts to come with him with both his own artists in Don Toliver and Sheck Wes. And I mean, from there, if hip-hop stadium tours can become a regular thing, whether Tyler the Creator can get Frank Ocean to go on the road one more time, Eminem can maybe get together a group of Snoop, 50, and Dre for another tour, and who knows what other rappers and artists this may bring out entirely. Altogether, just like when rappers like Eminem and Jay-Z led forward rap entering arenas for the first time and showed that hip-hop could work in that setting when nobody believed it could. I think with what Kendrick is doing, how Cardi is kind of following them already, and with how many other rappers already want to reach this level, which is something that Travis Scott has already expressed, I think with the numbers Kendrick is doing and with the results we will definitely see, this tour is not just going to prove Kendrick Lamar to be one of the greatest performers out, but it is going to open up opportunities that no other rapper ever had. And when it comes to this conversation we have about the culture of hip-hop and what you do for it, and again, as Drake is trying to take away the ability for rappers to say what they want to on songs with what he is trying to say, Not Like Us did to his career, and then on the other side of this, you see Kendrick Lamar showing that rap can be at the Super Bowl, that you can make one of the biggest songs ever while making it a super lyrical track with 3 verses. Now we are seeing him set forward that hip-hop can be played and be just as successful as any other genre in stadiums. Once again, Kendrick is showing how he is making the genre better off than he left it, and this just adds to the list of so many reasons why he is the best leader rap music can have right now. And so no matter what at this point, and no matter how Drake and OVO lose it as Kendrick comes closer and closer to getting so many more wins once again, Kendrick Lamar really is the undisputed king of hip-hop, and as we see him define this era that he is running circles around everybody with an entire tour that is about to be like nothing else we have ever seen, well, we are really about to see even more greatness than we have ever, and at that, in the most important way in terms of all of this now happening within a live performance that we can all witness. And so now with all that said, let me know, what do you think about what Kendrick Lamar and the Grand National Tour has shown just in terms of the success we are seeing with the tickets? And how do you think these shows are going to be, and what do you think is going to happen with everything around this tour? Now I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all of this, and if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and as we are about to witness one of the greatest times ever in hip-hop with Kendrick doing this, really be sure to leave that like and subscribe. And now if you want to see how right before this, another thing just went wrong for Drake as Kai Cenat finally called him out, and he is not happy about this, as he just lost somebody who we really needed to support him in this time, check out the suggested video.